Hey, it's Coffee with Friends, and I am raw to the bone. Good morning, Brandilla. Good morning, Hillbilly. How are you this morning? Let me just get right into playing the song because I always forget to remind y'all that it's going to be a good day. Step one, wake up early, gonna rise in the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Hey. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Ha! Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do. The aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Hey! Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Get your coffee, wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo. I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, yo. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison they ride. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad from the good in my head. When I'm lost. Hey, what? So I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive vibes are overtaken. I got patience. One day at a time, that's how you operate a cadence. Afloat, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes irritation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness through my best, man. I take it. Hey! Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Huh? Wake up. Good morning, Valerie. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. 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 Hey, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Mark, aka Chicago. Good morning. You said blame your mama. I know that's right. Oh, you're dog sitting. Okay. I thought you dog sat it already. I thought you already dog sat it. You still dog sitting? That dog is cute though. That dog is cute. So good morning, good morning. We are at the end of November. Oh my God, y'all. Can you believe tomorrow is Thanksgiving? I'm already in my head about Christmas and about the things that I have to do for Christmas. It's so crazy because, oh my God, I got to get my Christmas shopping done. There's a couple of places I need to physically run out to get some things for my granddaughter. And I need to do that after Thanksgiving is over. I'm going to start running out next week and picking up some of these items for my granddaughter. I'm still trying to figure out what to get my grandson. I'm waiting for his Christmas list. My son, I know what I'm getting him, and I know what I'm getting his girlfriend. So I'm pretty good so far. I pretty much have my list of what I'm getting people. I just got to get the shit. So I'm going to start ordering all the shit I need from Amazon next week, and then run out to the stores and get the rest of the shit that I need next week, and then come in here and sort my life out because I don't know. Congratulations, Chicago, on getting the Houston Rocket account. They're going to host your charity game. I love that. This is what I'm talking about. giving back to the community and working towards giving back to the community is it's such a blessing, Mark, that you have a job where you are working for charities and getting organizations like the Houston Rockets to, host your charities. I love that. I absolutely love that. Maybe one day you can come on here and tell us all about your charities and how they help the communities, because that is some good shit. That's some good shit. Valerie, I'm not ready either, okay, because I really ain't got no money, okay? I done took all my money and paid for my trip to Jamaica, and that's all I could think of right now. And so I'm hoping that I get money for Christmas so that I can put some money back in my pocket. Somebody want to pay one of my credit cards for Christmas. I appreciate them kind of gifts. Shit. Help a sister live, because when I come back from January, I go right into planning my next 3 trips for 2025 that are just Coffee with Friends trips. That's not including my own personal trips, actually 4 Coffee with Friends trips, because West Virginia is in there too. So next year we're going to have West Virginia, end of summer soiree, Friendsgiving, and Friendsmas. That's 4 events next year. Wow, that's a lot. And I already know that there's going to be people that are like, I'm coming. And then at the end of the day, y'all are going to fall the fuck off like y'all normally do. But I have my staple crew. I have about 10 people that is a staple crew that always travels for the most part with the Coffee with Friends trips. And so I know those folks will definitely go. So I know that I need a house big enough to at least fit 10 to 12 people, because I know that I have 10 people that are definitely yeses, for the most part. Okay. Now for the rest of y'all, the rest of the 5, 6, 7, 8 of y'all, I don't know, but we'll see what happens when we get into planning those trips. All right. But first I have to get through Thanksgiving, because tomorrow, y'all know where I'm going tomorrow. And then I have to get through my birthday, and then I will lock down and start working on these other activities and trips upcoming for Coffee with Friends. All right. Remember, I'm a one-man band. Also remember that I am going to be as cost conscious as possible on these trips, but I'm also not going to come out of pocket as much as I've done the last 2 trips, right? Now, when we run a business, we expect the first couple of years we take a loss, right? We're trying to build momentum, build followers, build a level of consistency. But at this point, I feel that I have a level of consistency. You guys know what to expect when you go away with Coffee with Friends. So at this point, I'm going to have to start charging where it's not costing me, okay, a lot of money. All right. I gave y'all the first 2 years on a budget. Now starting next year is going to be what the house really costs to run, where RAW is not taking an additional $600, $700, $800 out of her pocket to make sure you guys are having a good time. I love y'all, I do, but I can't always afford the full expense of feeding y'all and entertaining y'all. All right, so we all got to put in for that, and I know y'all understand. So Chicago, AG is not cooking tomorrow. AG is going over family's house tomorrow. And I'm not cooking because I'm going out tomorrow as well. So no, there will be no cooking over here where we live. All right. Didn't we have a Thanksgiving meal? Didn't AG cook us a Thanksgiving meal at Friendsgiving? We had everything that would be presented at a Thanksgiving meal at Friendsgiving. Okay, the only thing we didn't have was a turkey, because a lot of people don't eat turkey. So I didn't want to waste the money on a turkey. But we had everything that you normally get during a Thanksgiving feast. We even had banana pudding, okay, as a dessert. And Ghost took the whole pan of banana pudding, and I left my little bit at Debbie's house. I know she threw it in the garbage. Okay. And so AG it needs to recover from that Thanksgiving meal that he made. All right. Hopefully he cook on Christmas though, because shit. He literally live around the corner from me. Like literally I could walk to his house. I drive, but I could walk. It's literally around the corner. I'm just saying. All right. And so hopefully you guys are ready for tomorrow. I'm ready. I'm just bringing something for his mom, and bringing my mouth to eat. So it's going to be a really exciting day tomorrow. I know. I left my pudding in Texas. I had a little bit left and I forgot to eat it. So I know it probably went bad in Debbie's refrigerator, but Ghost took the whole pan. Ghost was like, anybody want this banana pudding? And before anybody can answer, he had the shit covered and in his hand in a bag. I was like, hold up. Can I get a spoonful? Shit. AG had to run and get me a spoonful before Ghost ran out the house with the pan. But you know what? I love the fact that people enjoyed the food. Yes, I bring my mouth. I just bring my mouth. The fuck? I do. I just bring my mouth. All right. So just like tomorrow, I'm just bringing my mouth. Well, I'm bringing, a housewarming well, not a housewarming gift, but when you go to somebody's house for the first time, you should never come in empty-handed, right? You should bring something, a bottle of wine, some flowers, something. Okay. And so I brought something that I was told she liked. And so that's what I'm bringing to the house. And then I'm bringing an extra little bit of libation for me to sip on while I'm there. Right? The meatloaf. You said Miss Debbie meatloaf. AG made that meatloaf, Chicago. AG made the meatloaf. AG cooked every day while we were there. All right. So AG made the meatloaf that you guys ate that night when you came over. Okay, Valerie, you're cooking chuck roast, yams, cabbage, mac and cheese, then going to my friend Tracy's house later that evening. I love that. I love that, Valerie. You know me, shit. My son told me I had next year, so next year I gotta cook. I might invite other people to my house next year and try to do something pretty big. Maybe I can convince AG to come over and help. No, he likes to spend Thanksgiving with his family, which is rightfully so. No, Mark. AG cooked dinner that night. AG cooked every single day, every single night. And he didn't have to. He was not hired to cook at the house. He was only hired to cook at the house that we rented, not at the house we were staying. But AG got up every morning. He made us breakfast. He made sure we had something to munch on for lunch. He made us dinner. We didn't have to cook or do anything in that kitchen while AG was there. All right. So, yes, Chicago, you ate AG's food all damn weekend. All right. All damn weekend and all damn week. I love that, Valerie. The only thing is tomorrow, right? I gotta be strong, y'all, because I can't be smoking my hookah pen and shit tomorrow up in this lady house. So I gotta keep going outside to pull on my pen and stuff like that. It's almost like being at Debbie house. Chicago said, y'all don't understand. AG can fucking burn for real. That man needs a restaurant, cooking school, and a show. Baby, you know what? Let me take a picture of this comment and send it over to AG right now, because he gonna be like, what? Let me take a picture of this comment. Because, oh, I sent it to AG because I always compliment his food, but he don't listen to me anymore because I'm always eating his food. But Chicago, I'm so glad that y'all enjoyed it. It was so funny because I remember someone on here making a comment when I first announced that AG was coming to be the chef of the house, right? And someone on here made a comment that, oh, I don't know, I ain't never tasted his food, as if it was going to be nasty. And it was so funny that somebody said that, because y'all didn't say that last year when we were taking turns in the kitchen making food. Y'all ain't never tasted my food either, or Cheryl Lee's food, or somebody else's food, but y'all didn't say that. But as soon as a man come and getting ready to prepare a meal in the kitchen, there was comments like, well, I don't know because I ain't never ate his food. Well, baby, everybody that was at that house ate all his motherfucking food and was rubbing their belly and begging for seconds, okay? And so trust and believe when I say, I know a mother effer that cooks, all right? I would not steer y'all wrong, okay? All right. So now y'all know what's coming for the next upcoming trips, because AG hopefully will onboard for the cooking in our next Friendsgiving in San Antonio, because that's where we're going to do it at. All right. So the folks in Houston, if you want to be a part of the San Antonio house and shenanigans, you're going to have to drive that 3 hours. Okay. I'm flying into Houston and we're going to drive from there, because I just love a little road trip. I do. But let's get into it, okay? November 27th, okay? Today is Wednesday. Today is hump day. Today is question and opinion day. So anybody can come in here with a question or an opinion that they want to hear some feedback on. But we're going to get into what the service message is today for November 27th. Today's message is, I don't even have to hold the whole book up because I can just take this piece out. Today's message is, the greatest service I can offer is freeing myself to live freely. Wow, what does that mean to you? Freeing myself to live freely. What does that mean to you? Freeing myself to live freely. Wow. You know, I'm going to just get in here and read what it says before I make any comments. Have you ever watched small children playing alone in a room? They will talk to themselves. They will answer. They will dress themselves up. They sing and dance. A small child in a room all alone can have a marvelous time entertaining himself. Children can do this not only because they have an innocence that helps them to rise above the cares of the world. They don't mind being alone with their thoughts and their dreams. They don't mind acting out their fantasies. They can live their lives beyond the expectations of others. In a room all alone, children have no inhibitions. They have nothing to prove and no one to satisfy but themselves. They feel free. They are unencumbered by opinions and directives. It happens because nobody is watching them. Live your life like nobody is watching you. Live beyond expectations. Live beyond what you have been told is right, wrong, good, or bad. Just for one day, live like you totally free to be anything and do anything you choose for yourself. Live from your innocence. Live from the sense of total satisfaction with who you are and what you have available to you. Let yourself dream like nobody can stop you. Let yourself sing like nobody is listening. Let yourself dance like nobody is watching. Play dress up. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself something that you would never repeat out loud. Let yourself be exactly who you are and live like it is okay, because it really is. Because it really is. Until today, you may have been living life under the impression that your every move is being watched. You may have felt there are certain things you could not and should not do. Just for today, allow yourself the childlike freedom of talking to yourself, dreaming for yourself, dancing with yourself, and living with your life like nobody else in the world cares or is watching what you are doing. Baby, today I am going to live my life like nobody is watching me. You know, such a simple message, but such a good one. Live your life as if nobody is watching. You know, I used to walk around, on eggshells at one point in my life, because I'm really a free living person, right? I am, free. But I had to be comfortable in stepping into those shoes because, people always had commentary when it came to me. Oh, Robin, you're too loud. Oh, maybe you cuss too much. Or you're too this, or your energy is this, or whatever. And I used to become self-conscious about that, right? And then one day I said to myself, when I felt like I was entrapped in my own body, I felt like a prisoner. I felt like I couldn't stretch. I couldn't expand because I was trying to meet the obligations and the expectations of so many other people, that I said to myself, I don't even know who the fuck I am right now because I am trying so hard to meet the expectations of other people. And one day I said, rip me out the plastic, I'ma act brand new. And I did. The only thing is, I wasn't acting brand new. I was being myself. And so a lot of you, what you met is the free, living freely raw, right? I live my life. I do the things that I want to do. I sing in here. Listen, baby, people on TikTok, sometimes they jump on my TikTok live and they're like, oh, you just a singer, but you can't really sing. I don't care if I can sing or not. I'm not singing because I can sing. I'm singing because I feel good. I'm singing because I fucking want to. Okay? I dance around in my kitchen early in the morning. I go on live on TikTok and some people be like, Dad, you got a lot of energy in the morning. This is who I am. Right? And I had to accept who I was, the loud me, the cussing me, the energetic me, the popcorn, kernel popcorn in me. I had to accept all of that because that's who RAW is, right? And I had to release the people that were holding me to these expectations and obligations to be what they needed me to be. I cannot be what you need me to be. I can only be who I am, right? And either you're going to love me in that place or you're not. And this is for whether I'm dating, whether my friends, whether it's family, okay? I live my life freely. I remember one time, true story. One time I was at my grandmother's dinner, okay? And y'all know I live my life freely because who's going to come and check me, right? I was at my grandmother's dinner and I was traveling to Buffalo often. And my cousin, my male cousin, came up to me and said, I noticed that you travel to Buffalo a lot. And I see you posting pictures with this girl. I said, what are you trying to ask me? Am I going to Buffalo to see a girl? Am I sleeping with the girl? What are you asking me? I said, if you want to know if I'm sleeping with the girl, the answer is yes. And my other cousin rolled up and was like, what? I was like, right. I was like, I don't know why y'all are making a big deal about my life. This is my life, okay? And when I said that, my cousin's eyes bugged out of their head. And I said, I do what I want to do. I do what I want to do. I live my life freely and out loud. Like, what you gonna do? What's gonna happen? So what? That's what I was doing. Now what? They didn't have anything else to say because you know what? You take power away from people who are trying to make you be something other than. But when you stand in yourself and you know who you are and you just let them know this is who I am and that's it and that's all with no apologies. People will begin to understand, you know what? This is who she is. You're going to love her or not. And one of my cousins couldn't believe that I was so outright in telling my business because I was like, what's going to happen? Who am I hiding it from? Like, I never understood that. Who am I hiding it from? Who's going to put me on punishment because I was going to Buffalo to date a girl? Who's going to do something about it? Nobody. But that is the comfort of living your life freely and unapologetically. See, I don't have to lie. When I date men, I'm very honest about what I've done in my past in some cases. If they want to know, have I ever slept with a woman? I say yes. The fuck? What now what? Now what? I live my life freely and unapologetically. So this is something to ask yourself. Are you truly living your life freely? Are you like that kid that still acts out your fantasies, still sings in a room by yourself, still has, moments where you are just 1000% into yourself? Or are you that person that wants to live out your fantasies, wants to be that person, wants to be free, but you are holding yourself to other people's expectations? That's the question you need to ask yourself, because I'm going to tell you, when I tried to live my life according to what other people needed and wanted from me, I was the most miserable person in the universe. I realized that in my current self, living my life freely, there's a sense of relief. I don't have to hide. I don't have to lie. I don't have to put on a facade for anybody. And you truly develop friends that respect you and love you authentically because they know who you are. You know what, Hillbilly? I cannot with you. And so that's a great message. So if you find yourself living to other people's expectations, that's in a lot of things. People move according to other people's expectations. People marry other people according to other people's expectations. People do things without even realizing that y'all are living up to other people's expectations and not giving yourself a sense of freedom to live your life the way you want to live it. How did this message resonate with you guys this morning? Because this was a good message for me. This was a good message for me. Stop hiding. So today is question and opinion day, y'all. Let me see. Anybody got a question? I mean, yesterday we had a good conversation. Um, I have a question. Okay. This is my question. What is a decent courting period before deciding exclusivity? Good morning, Gilda. How is it out there in sunny Vegas? Oh my goodness, I know it's just beautiful in sunny Vegas. Hillbilly said you are obligated to work. You are obligated to spend a portion of that on food, clothing, and shelter. All of the rest is yours to do what you want. Don't lose it to BS obligations. But are we truly living that way? See, I think subconsciously a lot of people are moving through life based on external expectations, right? And many of people are putting external expectations above their own expectations that they have for themselves. And I think I realized I was doing that. I was putting other people's opinion of me above my own opinion of myself. And when I stepped into the shoe of my opinion, the fuck matters first and above all, I decided that, you know what? I'm going to continue to live my life the way I want to live it with no apologies. As long as I'm not hurting anyone, as long as my life is not tearing somebody else's life apart, then I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing and not be apologetic about it. Okay, Gilda, you're doing the cooking for Thanksgiving. I know that's right. Yes, you can get the guest link. Yes, you definitely can. This is question hump day. So any question and opinion is welcome this morning. All right. So the guest link is up there, Brandilla. Come on in and tell us what your dilemma is, and let's see if we can help you. Gilda, you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner? I'm not cooking this year. I'm actually invited out. So I'm going to eat someone else's food. We're waiting for Brandilla to hop on and see what we can help her with. She has a dilemma. This is going to be interesting. On a hump day at that. Okay, Gilda. So you cooking up a big storm of food in that house. Yum, yum. I can't wait. I'm sure you're going to post pictures and I'm going to get a view as to what you are cooking. I cannot wait. Wow. 27 guests? Wow, that's a lot. I love that for you. I absolutely love that for you. Where's Brandilla? Brandilla, come on now. We are waiting. So I asked the question, What is a decent courting period before deciding exclusivity? What are y'all thoughts on that? Before Brandilla comes on, while she is preparing to come on, what do you think a decent courting period before deciding exclusivity is? That's a question that's out there. We're going to bring Brandilla on. Anybody that answers that question, I'll grab it. I'll grab the answers. Good morning, Johnny. Good morning, Brandilla.
Good morning. Let me get my thing. I wasn't quite ready. I was getting something to eat.
No, that's fine. That's
Sorry y'all if I
fine.
look crazy.
No, you don't look crazy. And it's early in the morning. Okay, we're supposed to look crazy. I
Okay, well
still
then.
got my pajamas on with a t-shirt thrown over.
Yeah, see I got my notes. Mine says make today amazing.
I love it.
All right, so I
Okay,
can make
Mark, you feel like it depends on the two in the situation. Okay, good answer. So what is the dilemma? I got my, oh y'all, I can't stand up fully because I don't want to shock y'all with my big hips and legs because you know my legs are big. But guess what I got? I got my Bucky shorts on, y'all. Bucky from Houston. I got my Bucky shorts on. Debbie and Nancy bought me a pair of Bucky shorts, and so I put them on last night for bed. All right, let Brandilla get it together. We're in the dark now. Where'd she go? So, Mark, you said it depends on
Okay, I'm back. I'm
the
sorry, I don't know
situation.
what that
Okay,
is.
you good? All right. So, what
So
is the dilemma this morning, Brandilla, and how can we help you?
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, I can't hear you. Wait a minute, let me take it off and come back.
technical difficulties. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
So my dilemma is about my career situation. So I applied. I always wanted to work for the federal government. So I applied for a job. I got an interview. So like in the past 3 weeks, I've probably been on more interviews than I've ever been on in my life. But it's all been with different departments within the same agency. But it's like they got my resume. I hit a qualified list, and I just been on all these interviews. So now I'm up to. I have a seventh one that's scheduled or supposed to be scheduled for next Tuesday. But I've been on six interviews with six different federal departments.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one just popped out of nowhere. It's the best opportunity, like pay wise, out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think the person who reached out to me, he's some kind of deputy director, whatever. I think he's probably on vacation because I was wondering why when he sent it to me, he was scheduling like 2 weeks out. But I said he's probably on vacation this week. So I sent him. He sent me his availability. I selected a time. He has not gotten back to me yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the best one. Like if I get that job, it will put me like 4 steps ahead of any of the other jobs that I'm applying for, or two to 4 steps ahead. Because like most of the ones that I'm applying for, like a grade 9, some of them will be a grade 11, but this one will be a 13. So this will push me, way up on the list. But yesterday I got an offer for one of the jobs, and I'm just like, I don't know what to, like any one of them would be more than what I make now.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that they offer me, it would be, but the one that I haven't had the chance to interview for yet would just be a game changer. Like 13s don't, like everybody I'm telling, they're like, I don't know really too many people that go in the door as a 13. So I don't know. I don't, I mean, I'll just keep thinking about it and praying about it. But any suggestions that
What
anybody
is the
had?
start date on the offer letter that you got?
I don't have one yet. They said
Okay.
once I accept the offer, they would start the onboarding process. So it'll probably be something like around the first of the year.
So I think anybody got any opinions on how Brandilla should approach this situation? Because that's a tough one, right?
Yeah, because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. Like, I don't know for a fact that I'm going to get the third. I want the opportunity to interview, but I don't know if I'm going to get it. But I do have a definite um offer here.
So what would happen if you accepted this offer, right? If it didn't start until the beginning of the year, and in between, this other guy comes back and you do an interview, right? And he offers you the job. Can't you rescind your offer from the last? Or
In
is
the
that going to look
email.
bad? See, I don't work for the government. I
Yeah.
don't work for federal agencies, so I don't know what kind of how what taints your reputation in that environment. I don't really know.
In her email, it states that once I accept, that starts the onboarding process, and it will remove me from consideration for any other position. And literally all the jobs are in the same agency, so it would be better like if one
Oh,
was
so
for VA and one was for the Department of Energy. It's all the same one. So um
it would impact you.
yeah, they're gonna take me out the running.
Go ahead, Chicago.
Hi, good morning.
Good
Hey,
morning.
baby. Good morning, babies. Brand, I'm gonna make this real easy for you, baby. Real easy. God gonna put you where He wants you at. Period. So why even stress about it?
That's true. That's true. Like, just a little bit more insight. This man came out of nowhere with this
That's the
offer.
ble- See, that's a blessing right there, out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
like the
you already
posting that
know
he.
you're heading
Mhm.
to greatness. All
I
your
just
work
like,
you
it's
done
one of them
put
things,
in.
but you got really just believe in yourself. My mother, she was like saying, she said it was a woman one time in Baltimore that had to choose between continuing with an opportunity in Baltimore or stepping out on faith and going to Chicago. She was like, she made that choice to go to Chicago. She said, you know who I'm talking about? She said her name is Oprah Winfrey.
Hello.
Now I don't think I'm gonna be Oprah with no 13, but I get the point of what my mother was trying to say. Like, she was like, she stepped out on faith. Like, she had a good opportunity in Baltimore with a local news channel, but they had something they were offering her better in Chicago, but it was kind of more of like a question mark, and she went for it.
That's
Yeah.
what I said, Mama.
So
Just let God do His thing. You just sit back and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
since it's the same agency, you couldn't tell them that you also applied for another position.
Well, it's like they know. If you read the email, they say, we're sure that you have, applied for other components. Think about this carefully. They gave me till Friday to give them a response. I said, can I get an extension on that? They gave me till Monday. I'm like, that doesn't really help. Um, so I don't know. I had just done that with the state. I had a offer from the state for an interview that I went through, and they just lowballed me and they refused to budge on that offer. So I respectfully declined that one, and I said, I'm just stepping out on faith. But it wasn't really a big deal because I didn't really want that. I was just like applying for the state because I hadn't heard anything from the feds. And then once the feds came, they came and like everybody said, they're like, I've never known nobody to get no 6 different departments requesting interviews, from one person. And like, my best friend has been with the federal government for, I think next year be 30 years with her, and she is a 15, and she was like, I've never heard this.
Yeah,
So
that's what Hillbilly. That's what Brandilla is saying. Hillbilly said the government will disqualify you if you accept one. That will deny you the other.
yep, it,
Oh,
it
that's
says that in
weak.
their email. Yep.
Yes, that's
That's
why I said I
weak.
don't know the rules around federal and state jobs because I did try to fill out an application one time for a federal job and it was 100 pages. I know I'm exaggerating, but they ask you about your childhood. They ask you about every fucking thing. I was so aggravated.
Really?
Yes, baby. It's a lot of questions. They ask you about everything.
They do,
Personal?
but
Like
guess what
personal
else?
stuff?
Like, since I've been doing these interviews, I mean, and I applied for well, actually I only applied for one thing, but I hit the BQ list, and then they just started pulling my resume. Some of
Yeah,
the stuff.
once you applied for one thing, your resume is in the database.
Yeah, so they just, I don't necessarily have the experience that some of these departments are reaching out for, but I do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They
Hmm.
just, I guess, whatever they think they see on the resume. I've had to provide a technical writing sample for one. Like, I've been doing it. Like, I've been trying so hard. Like, that was always the goal. Like, when I went back to school and my minor was contract management and acquisition, and all, government is all about contracts.
Yeah.
So that's what, and so I went to my minor was that. Then I took another break from school, and when I came back, they didn't offer contract management and acquisition anymore. I had some coursework in that, so I had an interview for a procurement role. They asked me to write a technical writing sample. I did a blazing RFP that I wrote up. Like, it's just something I can't like put it into words, and I'm not like trying to brag to anybody, but I can just do stuff. Like, I just you give me a task and I can just get it done. And it's like it made me very thankful that they are looking at my resume in another way. Because like years ago when I was getting laid off from my 15-year job, they had a career fair. And like I was talking to somebody from Care First, and she's looking at my resume. She's like, "Oh, you have project management. I think I have a project coordinator." It's like they're looking for apples to apples on your resume, and I'm just like, you can't look at this resume and see that I have all types of transferable skills.
Well, because
So,
they search on words. Yeah,
yeah,
on keywords.
keywords.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I was thankful that, I mean, every last one is like something damn near totally different.
Yeah.
But I was just thankful to get in these different rooms and these people see, oh, she has this, she has that. Yeah, my work has been specifically in management, project management, payroll, and insurance. That's the main bullet points, but I think it's so many different little things within there. So, I was thankful, and I'm feeling like, I should just step out on faith. But I swear I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, because everybody like, you just want to get in the door, you want to get in the door.
Okay. Real
That's
quick,
what
real quick,
Johnny is saying. Go ahead, Chicago.
real quick, so I can have an understanding. So if you accept the offer, not from the big dude, the little offer, does
Hmm.
that disqualify you for the big offer? So you can't
For
get the big
everything
offer if you.
else.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I
Ooh.
still and so this is the other thing that's crazy about it. I just interviewed with this woman Friday. She got back to me yesterday. I have other people that I interviewed for 3 weeks. All these Fed interviews started 3 weeks ago. So I still haven't heard from some of these people. So I don't know if it's still coming. They say everything with the government is
Ah,
slow. So I'm thinking,
yeah.
I don't know, like they just popped out the sky when they started sending me these emails. So I'm just thinking, and then here she told me, like, oh, so they can do something fast. Girlfriend did not wait a week. And I had a feeling she was like something was coming, but I still didn't know it was gonna happen that fast. The hiring manager that that I interviewed with, she sent me an email yesterday. She was just like, we'll be in touch. Have a great Thanksgiving. I'm like, okay. 2 minutes later, the email came from HR. I said, Dad, I felt like she was giving me a little clue that I got the job, but I didn't think that HR was coming that fast.
Yeah.
And so here we go. I was hoping I didn't get any offer from anything until I go on the other interview. But now I got a choice. Like, it would have just made everything easy. But
You're gonna have to pray about this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are, because I don't think none of us can really give you a clear answer on this. You're gonna have to pray about this one and put all your questions in that face box and go with the answer you get.
Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
all I can do is tell you what I would do.
What
you
would
would
you
just step out on faith.
On the cool, yeah, I'll step out on faith and wait on the big dude. I'll wait for that big money because it's worth the wait. You've been waiting this long for this opportunity, and it's
Yeah.
right there.
This is the one. This is the one. Like, even like my girlfriend that's a 15 and her girlfriend that's once you go 15, you're not even on numbers no more. You executive
Ooh,
level. So I got to oh baby. My best friend is the poster
no.
child for good decisions. She is my age, 45. She has been with the feds for 29 years. Do y'all hit me?
Donnie said my mom was in the government and she was able to move around. Plus, we don't know how things are going to be under the new administration. That's true.
Right.
Mm,
That's true.
that's true.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking about that too. And then, I said, and it's one of the agencies that, it's not the Department of Education, thankfully, but it's one of the ones that they talking about making changes to. But somebody said, the 15s and the SESs are the ones that are really going, because they feel like it's too much overhead with all these people that have these big high positions that don't do anything. So
Mhm.
I don't know, but I was thinking that, I said, now I finally get to get a seat at the table, and they talk about getting rid of stuff. I said, you better not do that one.
No, it'll work out. I believe it's gonna
Yeah,
work out, Brandy. You're gonna have to pray on this one. Cause I don't have much insight with how the government works. I mean, I could have gave you a poke in the corporate America window, but I don't know how it works in the see, in corporate America, they don't block us out. If I got a job offer, um, I could kind of play around with it, but with the government, I don't know. I don't know how the federal feds work.
Nah, I say wait, Brad. I say wait on the homie.
That's what I'm feeling like, and I stepped out on faith and like just using the whole state thing because my boyfriend's like, no, take that, like you in with the government, take that, and I'm just like, no, I'm like
It's
that
more.
offer I don't have to accept, and I knew it, and now I like within a week or two of that, better stuff started rolling in. And it's like I want to have that confidence or that belief that it can happen again. But I'm like, girl, how many other chances you gonna keep getting, or do you need to just jump on something? It's like this is one of them times where I really wish I had a crystal ball. Like I
Is
don't
it,
know. Like
would it be appropriate to email the other
Yes. I was at
manager and just indicate that you had interviewed for several other positions in the agency, and one position has come back to you, but you really you really want to hear the opportunity in his organization before you accept, and ask him if he has any advice or any timeline or ETA when y'all could talk,
I
right?
can try
I,
that. Yeah. Now
I
he.
would email him and
yeah.
just let him know, right, that I've been applying for positions, and one position turned around and provided me an offer, but I'm really interested in hearing about the position in your organization and would really like to talk to you before I make a decision on this other position. And then see what he says. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Hopefully he'll get back to you before Monday. He might come back and say and interview you quickly. He might come back and give you some advice. See what he says.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. I have a feeling
Email.
he's on vacation because that was Friday that me and him were trying to schedule, and then
Yeah.
once I gave the time out of his times that I
But
was
keep
available,
in
I didn't hear
mind,
from.
even when I'm on vacation, I have my work phone with me.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
know.
So
Which I
I
said maybe
might
he'll, but
not
he.
answer. I might not answer just any old email. But if an
Hmm.
email like that came through where I was interested in hiring
I will
somebody
answer it.
sort on
Yeah,
my phone, I might take the opportunity to read that and respond to you while I'm on vacation. So you never know.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna
Right.
try that. Yeah, when we get off of here, all I
Even
can,
when I'm
all I can
even
do
when
is
I'm
try.
not at work, I got my phone just in case, right? So my emails are still coming, my Teams chats are still coming. I still can see what's happening at work. So if anybody reaches out to me, it's important. I can get back to them even when I'm on vacation. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna just try that. I mean, it can't hurt to just try to email him and hope he'll, read it or see it.
Mhm, mhm. And if
Um.
he's really interested in you, he'll respond.
Hmm.
He'll respond, right?
Yeah, because I would say some additional, like something that made me feel like happy or made me feel some type of way. He sent me an example of the post. I don't know if it's exactly the posting or what, but he said, he asked me did I want to interview. He gave me a little background about his department, and then he said, here's a similar posting to what I'm looking for, just to give you an idea. So he put the link to that in his email. So the posting that he had was from October the 29th to November 4th, and then it closed. So I'm thinking maybe they went through that round, they didn't find anybody they want, and then he pops up on November the 22nd asking for me. And I'm just like, I know it's always internal people applying for stuff. The posting was
No,
open
they
to the
wouldn't have
public.
posted it externally. So how it works is for a period of time. I know how it works in my job. Is for a period of time they have to post it internally first. It's not
Right.
visible to external people. And if no one internal qualifies for the position, then they extend it to an external position. So if it's out there externally, then they probably already went through the internal process.
Yeah, it was a short window because a lot of them have those windows where it's like a couple of weeks where you have, or I guess it just depends on their
Ours is
needs.
like 2 weeks internal rotation before they put it out to the public. So Hillbilly said if he knows someone wants you, well, he is the one with the GS13 position, Hillbilly. He's the one that has the GS13 position that she wants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the one.
yeah, he's the one. So I would send him an email. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
I got the extension till Monday.
because at least you're giving him the heads up that you will have received an offer. He should know that if he's interested in you, and then let's
Yeah.
see what he says,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because he works there, so he knows the process, right? He
And
knows.
all of them have stated that in the day, like, I understand you may be interviewing with other components, keep, doing such and such. If we choose you, you'll hear something. They be like, you won't hear from us, you'll hear from HR
Yeah,
on the next step. So yeah, they pretty much all know.
yeah, they know. Even in corporate America, when you apply for different positions, HR knows that your resume is floating around. They know that.
Yep, and some of these different hiring managers may even know each other or might be
Yeah,
talking about it. So I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. So
Yep. So and I don't know.
I said that's good news, Brandy. I mean,
Yeah, I guess it's
That's
worse
big.
problems to have. I mean, because at the end of the day, I can have a new better pay. I mean, this is going to be a good enough pay increase, and then I will be on a pathway. So that's a recent graduate program I'm on. So it's like I'll start here, and then next year if I perform successfully, I'm gonna go up a grade. So it's really no way to lose with that. But this man with this 13 is putting me steps ahead. Like I'd have to work years from this role to get where he's offering me, right in the
Mm.
door.
now Hillbilly said research both jobs and see which one you like more and which one you will be best at. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one. Because you also
Um,
gonna like your job. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I work in corporate America and sometimes, and I've been doing, oh my God, I've been in project management for 30 years. And sometimes I love my job and sometimes I don't, but I realize that it's not my job. It just really depends on who I'm working for, whether I like
Thank
my
you.
job or I don't. Because I really do like what I do.
Mm.
But sometimes, baby, I think I'm the opposite, and I'm taking a lot of risk by saying this on publicly on my platform. But there was a time in my career where I was fighting for growth and the corner office, and I wanted all of that, right?
Hmm.
Now at this point in my career, I don't know if I want all of that, right? But in the organization that I work, they're pushing me up the ladder, right? And for the first time in my life, I don't want to. I keep trying to climb down the ladder. And they keep trying to push me. And I'm like, no, motherfuckers, I'm 57. Like, I'm counting the years down. Like, I don't want people reporting to me. I don't want all this extra overhead because I'm trying to level down in my career. But sometimes you just can't, you just don't know what's going to happen, once you're in that cycle. And so I'm going with it. But opposite from you, Brangela, you are looking to, advance and do this. And I'm just like, can you just pay me the money and just call me Fiddler on the Roof? I don't really need like all the fancy titles and shit like that anymore. I just like the money. That's where
I
I'm at.
need the money, like
That's
I need
funny.
the money. Like this is what I worked for, and I feel like I'm playing catch up because I'm the friend out of my friend group that didn't do it. Like my two best friends, they did it right out of high school, so they've had many years of, they started where I'm getting ready to start now 20 something years ago,
But that's
so
okay. Everybody
It
starts
don't matter.
places in their career. That's okay. It's so crazy. I have so many that graduated, had their master's degrees long before. I was still walking around with my GED, Brandilla. Okay,
mhm.
this is the difference between I think corporate America and the state and federal agencies, right? I was walking around with my GED. Okay, didn't have one degree to my name. Already baking dough. I was drinking the same amount of dough as my coworkers with the master's degree. See, corporate America, you move up based on your work ethic, right? And
Mm.
so when I decided to go back to school, it was only because I got tired of being in the room filling out the application and only listing my GED. When I look to my right and to my left, I see my other counterparts listing their degrees, and I was like, I can't just be listing the GED. And at that time, my title was assistant vice president. I was already up there running three different groups underneath me, and I decided that I was going to go back and get my degree. I went back and I got 3 degrees. I started out with my associates, then I went for my bachelor's, and then I went for my master's. And then I went for my PMI certification. And ultimately, I went for my Scrum Master certification. I did all of that, and it didn't change my salary, right? Because I was already there, but it did give me a sense of peace that I had this kind of information that I could put on my resume going forward. So the difference between corporate America, I feel, in state and federal jobs is I feel that like when you work for like MTA, like the subway system or the bus system, when you start, if you're a bus driver, everybody kind of makes this salary range as a bus driver, or everybody kind of makes this salary range as a conductor, or somebody makes this salary range as an engineer. In corporate America, you can make more than your boss. They don't really go by that. Like, we have grades, but salaries are so fluid in corporate America. We don't even pay attention to the grades that we're in because it really doesn't determine the salary. And I realize that's different with the federal and the state agencies. Like you guys, you focus on, I need to be a 13 to be here, or I need to be an 11 to be here, or I need to be a 15 to be there. So if that's
But it also, yeah, it also with the government depend with the feds depends on your step, because you could be 14 step 1 and somebody else might be a 12 step 9, and they might make more. So it also depends on the step that you're on as well.
that's a lot of complication.
Yeah, that's a step. That was something that.
No, you're right, Stacey. Well, it don't change corporate salaries either. The only thing that this is what I learned. This is my opinion. The only thing that a degree does
It gets
is
you in the door.
get them to look at your resume. The first thing they do is go, Bing, do they have any education? Oh, they got a degree. Okay, now let me go look at what their experience is. That degree, I had a coworker who did the same exact job as me. And you know what her degree was in? Archaeology. I said, bitch, we here supporting the trading floor. We are in IT. We were working for a brokerage firm, and you got an archaeology degree. She said, Robin, this was a white woman. She said, they don't give a damn what your degrees say. They just want to know that you have a degree.
Yep.
That's it.
And I mean, like for me, it was another way in, being an older person, coming out of school. I mean, I'm not 22, I'm in my mid 40s, but I still qualify for the recent graduate program. So you had to attend school. Like that's a way, because a lot of people that go in, if you can get in the feds without a degree, you're gonna go in as a 5 or whatever, So you can maybe get in, but it's lower. And so the recent grad program, they were starting you off as a 9, but starting July this year, you start as an 11. So
Okay.
that's a way for somebody like me to play catch up.
Yeah.
Like instead of me having to go in as a 5 or something like that. So that was just an advantage for me. But you gotta have that sheepskin to even get in the door. Now I
Yep.
know some people who have gone back for their masters so that they could get in. As long as you're a recent graduate of something within 2 years, you can apply under that program.
Exactly, Stacey. Co-workers with doctorates, lower salary than me. Exactly.
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't make their degrees make sense either. Like you might have a doctorate in sewing, but I mean, it's not going to help you, And I guess in a lot of
You
fields,
know,
that's not going to help you.
I want to say, talking about degrees helping, right? I have a business degree with marketing as my second, and my master's degree is in criminal justice, right? And security. And when I go and I apply for a job, right? I have been asked by the hiring managers several times, why are your degrees like this? You have business, you have marketing, and you have criminal justice and security. And they don't understand it. They go, this is all confusing. I say, is
Yeah.
it? But let me break it down for you. I said, business, marketing, and criminal justice and security, right? You're running a business, okay? In your business, you have to market to whatever clientele you're marketing to, right? So you have to understand how to market your business to keep your business afloat. So you have to understand how the business functions, how we market out to our clients, our customers, and also how to protect our systems and our clients from a security perspective, right? That's where the criminal justice and the security degree comes in, because we don't stop at running the business, marketing it to the public. We also have to protect the business. We have to protect the integrity of the data that's coming through our business, all their PII information, everything, their account information. And if there is a breach in our systems, we should understand how to navigate through that breach. And also, if we're onboarding new clients, we need to understand what type of data we're going to be collecting from these clients in order to protect it. So when I go in and I have an interview, some of them look at my degrees and they be like, it's confusing. But when I explain it to them, they're like, you know what, that makes sense. And I said, the reason why my degrees are like that is because I've worked in the business. I've worked for the business. I've had to run projects where marketing was involved, and I worked in security administration for 3 years, right? As a project manager on protecting the data. So sometimes to a manager, your degrees don't make sense. But when you are running a business, there are so many aspects to running your business that your degree can touch various aspects of what that is. And sometimes a simple explanation will help. And some of the managers, their mouths was open when I said that. I was like, wouldn't you want a person like me to sit at a table and understand the business, understand the marketing, and understand the security aspects of it all? One person. I'm bringing you that value, right? And so sometimes you just have to explain your degrees, you know?
Yep.
So yes, Stacy, my degrees are diversified because in corporate America, I feel like you need to understand the business, how we market, who we're marketing, and protecting the business.
Yep. And that was the goal that I originally had. Like, cause I never was like married to one particular field. You know, I didn't want to be pigeonholed anywhere. So that was the reason for business. I always felt like business was broad. And then before, like I said, I wanted the contract management and acquisition because I always had to go to the feds. And then at the time, so for the last two jobs I've had, I've worked in some aspect of human resources. I did payroll, and now I'm on the employee benefit side. So I'm like, once they got rid of the contract management and acquisition, I said, okay, I'll just do human resources. I'm working in that field anyway.
Mhm.
So the original goal was to have the degree in business, the minor in contract management acquisition, and a certificate in human resources.
Mhm.
But once they got rid of the contract management acquisition, I changed my minor to human resources. And then at that point, I was kind of tired of school. I said, we're going to forget the certificate. Let's just graduate at this point. So I ended up with just a major and a minor.
That's fine. Hillbilly said my wife is high up in banking. She has never been to college. She corrects CEOs and CLOs all the time. A degree is typically required for her position. So let me chime in on that. That is what they tell us, Hillbilly. That is what society tries to tell us. I worked for a man, Tony Guarneri, right? He was my mentor when I first started working at Shearson Lehman Brothers, supporting the trading floors, the equities trading floor. And I didn't know how to do my job. I came from being a programmer. And when I realized I didn't want to program anymore, I didn't want to do COBOL and database programming anymore, I changed. They threw me in IT, had me supporting the equities trading floor. My boss who sat in CTO, who sat in a big ass glass office, he didn't have one degree. All he had was his high school diploma. He started at Shearson Lehman loading tapes at night. Way back when we were using tapes in the data centers, he was loading tapes. He grew up in that company and became the CTO. And when I went to that man and I said, I want to go back to school to get my degrees, that man said, we will pay for it. Hurry up, go back to school and get your degrees. He said, but I don't have a degree. He said, I'm not telling you don't get one because it's good to have on your resume because times are changing. But he said, don't get it twisted. A lot of us sitting up in these offices right now do not have degrees. It's about your and how committed you are in doing your job. And in some cases, who you know. And so a lot of these executives, Hillbilly, do not have fucking degrees. I sit next to these motherfuckers on a regular basis. So that's the difference. To me, corporate America is a mixed bag. You don't necessarily need a degree unless you're in finance, unless you're doing like financials. They might be a little bit more strict, but in IT, the certifications are
Certification.
more important in some areas than degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So
Yep.
keep that in mind too. Now, my PMI certification expired in 2011 or 12. And so when you go to the PMI org and look up my name, you'll see Robin White's cert expired in 2011 or 2012 because I got tired of renewing it because you have to keep those educational points up. And I remember my boss saying to me at this job when they hired me 7 years ago, um, "Are you going to go back and get your PMI certified again?" I said, "No." I said, "If you're not going to hire me based on that, then I understand that. But I'm not going back to recertify that." I said, "I've been doing this job for 30 years. And when I took the certification, most of the stuff in that PMBOK book we do not use. Okay? We do not use it. So I'm not wasting my time going back to recert. I am a certified Scrum Master, and being that companies are moving more towards agile maturity, that's more of a focus for me. I will not go back for that PMI. She hired me anyway. Because at this point, I've been doing this for 30 years. Don't fucking look at me. I had the certification already. I've been doing the job. Y'all don't use half the stuff. It's the same thing in college. I have not used business stats yet.
You
I
remember when I was taking stat and I was like, who can help me? You was like, I have not seen that since way back whenever.
haven't used business stats since I was in college. I cried through that class. Two of them, business stats 1 and 2. I cried through that class. I was like, what the fuck kind of math is this? I ain't never used it in my job.
Oh wow.
And that's just like all I'm saying. Like y'all was kind of with me like on my little journey, how the math classes almost took me out of here. And it was just like the way that I did it all. I can't really explain it. I basically had the worst case scenario at the end for me not being a math person. I
I don't know
kept
math
putting off
either.
yeah, I kept putting off math, and then I didn't realize how close I was to the end. So I ended up having to take, in the end, I had to take macro and microeconomics. That wasn't too bad.
Oh,
But then right after that, I had to take accounting 1 and stat 1 at the
the
same
stat,
time.
the
I
stat
said,
is
Lord, are you trying to kill me? Like, are you sir? And I tried to with my, they call it success coach at University of Maryland. I'm trying to talk to my success coach. I'm like, is there any way can I put a human resource class? Because that's the way I always tried to do it, like one
you
easy one.
gotta take that business stat.
Yeah, he said you have to take it this way because you only have 8 classes. I only got 8 classes left.
You
Oh,
gotta take business stat.
right. So I had to take stat and accounting 1 at the same time. Then right after that, I had to take accounting 2 and
Mm.
economics. I said,
Yep.
Lord, and I thought economics.
Economics wasn't that bad for me, but stat was bad because
I
I'm
didn't
gonna
like it.
admit to y'all, y'all can laugh at me all y'all want, but when motherfuckers start mixing alphabets with numbers, I'm fucking done. I
Yeah.
don't want to know where Y and X is. I don't give a shit.
And
I'm
that's what I didn't like about economics with all of this, the Norman formula for this. I'm like, what? I said, I know people that really work in finance us not sitting there writing all this out by
and
hand
you're
to
not,
figure out your compounded interest. I just know this, but
and because you
no.
know why? Because we have programs. They just type it in numbers, and
Yeah,
these programs are figuring out your compound interest and all that shit.
yeah, but they wanted us to do, apparently it's a million different methods to come up with every different thing. And we had to sit there and learn how to put it in Excel and how to do it here. I said, you can't be serious. So that was a little off-putting, but I gotta see.
You know,
So
I'm surprised because I got an A and a B in my stat classes, but my son, if he was to jump on this live right now, he could tell you how I cried real tears and how I made everybody's life miserable in the house and how he tried to help me with math because he's good at math. And he'd be like, "Mom, all you gotta do is like Smokey's t-shirt." I said, I cussed him out. I said, "Don't fucking tell me all I gotta do is I don't understand." And so for people that know math, it comes so easy to them. So they be like, all you gotta do is, I'm like,
And I'm me. I'm pretty much anything else but math. I will body, but you give me some math, and I become. I don't know.
I
It's like
put Candy
if
Man
there's a such thing as
in this
math
color.
dyslexia, I have it. It's like the numbers just twist up. I just see it wrong, but I got through everything, and I just feel like my life will at some point maybe be a testimony for something. And like it's a young woman that works with me now that I didn't tell her anything. I didn't say go back to school or whatever, but I think just from her watching my journey, it inspired her to apply. She always wanted to go to school, and she's like a young person who came from a very troubled background. Like it's like her life was messed up before it even got a chance to get started. She was one of those kids that her mother had the cable bill in her name, the phone bill, the cell phone bill, and let everything get cut off. So
Damn.
she started 18 with bad credit, and she never wanted to like pursue it because that would mean she'd have to press charges against her mother. So she just left it. So she's always like thinking she can't do various things, and she just I guess once you get on a track of bad thing, it just snowballs into everything else. So she got to a point she wasn't filing her taxes, and like to apply for student aid and all that, you have to put your taxes and all that. But somehow she finagled away, and she's actually enrolled in school. So I think, and she said, oh, and she was asking me different questions. Well, how did you do this and whatever? And I kind of talked her through some things, but I just think that she came up with that. She said, you showing me I can do this. So maybe some of the things you go through, will inspire others, but for me, this was just like the longest journey, and I was always smart. And I know that my mother, and I could see it like with my daughter, and once you become a parent, you can kind of see like, oh, now I see why my mother was so frustrated. Because it's like you could see that your child is really, really smart if they would just apply themselves more. So it's like I had to go through that. But once that fire got under me, you couldn't stop me. You heard me complaining about the math classes or whatever, but I got it done. I went out and reached out to tutors, people that I knew that could help.
You did.
Went online looking for that. Like once you know the importance, there's nothing that will stop you.
Yeah.
And
That's
I wanted that. Yeah, that was just a goal that I wanted to achieve. But I went from being, a young woman who really didn't see a future for myself or really understand, what anybody was talking about. I went to college out of high school, but I didn't finish. I chose to get married, have a child, and did that for years. And school ended up just going on the back burner. Then when my daughter was in like middle school, I said, I think she's at a place now where I can go back to school. So I went back. But in the midst of that, that was raising a child, having a family, a home, going through a divorce, going through layoffs, um, me getting laid off from my, and this is all starting from, let's say, from when I was like 22, where I didn't realize how the Lord was ordering my steps. I
okay.
started that job at 22, worked it for 15 years. And then they said, we're moving to Jeffersonville, Indiana. I said, there's no way I'm moving there. They don't even have an airport. If you want to get there, you have to fly to Kentucky and drive. I said, there's no way we're doing that. So I took the severance package. I had also had a little car accident. I had a couple of dollars that I was just sitting on. Now, mind you, I'm like 37 at this point. I'm a youngish woman with all this money that I'm just sitting on. Most people like I'm taking trips, I'm buying crab legs, I'm buying bags, whatever. I did nothing. I sat and I waited. And then one day I said to my cousin, I was like, I want to buy a house. I just said it. She mentioned it to her girlfriend who was a real estate agent. She just called me one day. She said, I understand you want to buy a house. She said, let's start the process. Let's start the process.
Mhm.
And we did that. And I went through, I got approved first time. Like didn't even have to, most people know they be like, you gotta fix this, fix that, got approved. So I think I was 37 or 8 when I purchased my first home by myself, not with a husband, not with nobody. That was from my hard work that I did for all those years that earned that severance, that I was disciplined with my money, purchased a home. I had a car, I done raised my child through school. She's graduating college this year. I did all of this as a single Black woman
Mhm.
and went through, finished school. I had a couple trials and tribulations. Like I was in school when that first layoff happened. I went to ADP, which I'm sure most people have heard of ADP, the payroll company, which was totally different. I was working for a merchant bank before I was in finance. So I switched to a whole nother, type of work, learn all this stuff. I'm in this intensive training. I'm in school. That semester, when I first started at ADP, I got 4 A's. I don't know how I was able to do it. So I'm working at ADP. It was, and I took like a almost $10,000 a year pay cut to work at 80, but I just wanted to keep working. So I was like, with my severance, and I'll just be able to make it work, but I was going to keep looking. And that just didn't happen. I got comfortable at ADP, and then I was there for like a year and a half, and then they said, we're moving to Augusta, Georgia. So I chose not to relocate again. So I found another job, and then that's where I got to the company I am now. So between, I said, there's no way I can go to another job and be in school. I said, I'm gonna take a couple semesters off. And then that turned into a couple of years. We had deaths, the pandemic, all this stuff happened. My father died and all that. So once the smoke cleared, I said, okay, I'm ready to get back in school. And then that's when I had that last little stretch to finish. So it's like through all of that, I never let nothing stop me.
Yeah.
No, and that was just a
And
goal.
that is definitely a blessing. That was like one of my regrets growing up. Like I've always been a school person, and I wanted to go away to college. I wanted to pledge in a sorority. I wanted to do all of that, but I had my son at 16, and so that kind of put a wrench in my college experience. And so for me, it was important for me to advance my education just so that I had it. Like, I mean, literally, I'm not even one who hangs my degrees up, right? There, my degrees are in the closet, in the folder, in the thing, right? I don't even hang my degrees up. But when you say as a single mother, I know exactly what you're talking about because I did the same thing, right? As a single mom without a husband, having to work a full-time job, having to go to school, having to maintain your grades, and still having to provide for your child or children at home. It's a lot. It is a lot. And a lot of people out here doing that. A lot of single women I know are out here doing that. And a lot of men are doing it too. But it really is a testimony when you hear the stories come from people that have actually gone through it and have survived and have accomplished major milestones. It's beautiful because I tell people all the time, you might have made mistakes in your early years or whatever, but it's never too late to get on that horse and ride it, right? And that's one of the things that I had to convince myself in my 30s, that it's never too late. I didn't get all my degrees until I was almost 40.
Same.
And for me, I was up in age, and I was like, I know this is stupid to build up all this debt at this particular age, but for me, education is important, was important to me, right? Now for my son who did not go to college, he did go and get certified. He went to school as for HVAC and got certified in that. And I said, at least you have a certification in something. So at least if you want to fall back on that, you can go back to that.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear major accomplishments from people's individual lives, and hopefully it inspires other people and lets other people know that they too can do it. You know, it's
If they
really
want.
awesome. It's been trying times. These last couple of years, I'm gonna tell you, ever since the pandemic, it's been hard for a lot of people. Financially, it's been hard. Mentally, it's been hard. People that make good money are struggling, right? And I just had this talk with my girlfriend yesterday. Actually, Nakia, I was talking to her, and I was like, because she's an executive at her job too. And I'm like, yeah, for all this money we make, why the fuck are we suffering? Right. And I said, sometimes I was listening to you, Brandilla, when you said you buckle down. Sometimes we have to buckle down. We just have to give up on certain things in life, make certain sacrifices. Like as soon as we said we don't have any money, like I always say, I don't have any money, but then I came back from Texas and I paid off my Jamaica trip. I could have took that money and paid off a credit card. You know what I'm saying? And so for all this hard work we do and all of this education we get and all of these high ranking jobs we get, we still have to come down to the basics of knowing how to navigate our lives from a financial perspective, as well as advancing in our careers, because I advance all the time, but for whatever reason I feel like I'm always financially struggling, so got to find an equal balance to that.
Yeah, well, I'm working two jobs right now, so
I
that's
know.
that.
I can't even work two jobs. Every time I say I think about getting another job, but see, my job is sometimes I got to work on the weekends. Sometimes I got to take a call early in the morning if we're dealing with India or London. Sometimes I got to work late at night if I'm on a migration. So my schedule is so whacked out that I can't even commit to a second job.
And that's why I'm thankful, to have the job. It's hard. The hours are hard, working the graveyard shift. Like, Nothing that I'm going through right now is easy. That graveyard shift is a killer because it's like I have a day job. I literally almost like on the nights I work the other job, I basically have to go to sleep as soon as I get off just to get 3-4 hours of sleep. Or otherwise I'll damn near go 24 hours without sleep.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, cause and like so when I work only Friday, Saturday, excuse me, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So Friday morning, when I get off from the casino, then I have to go, log right back in for my day job. So I get no time between that. So that Thursday morning. Hmm.
It's so interesting, like, and this just makes me think of another aspect, right? When you are a woman that's working multiple jobs, right, and raising a child, bought your first house without a husband, how do you make space for a man in your life? Like to say you're doing all of this, right? So now a man comes along. What are your expectations going to be for him?
Well, he can't, he was already there, for me. So he helps. Like, and that's just, I mean, part of it is I messed up some stuff myself. I don't know how I did it. I'm sure it's probably maybe something to do with my grieving process or me just procrastinating or I don't really know how to explain that. But basically, I effed up something real bad. So I got to dig myself out of a hole. And my independence, just like you said, everybody is struggling. Believe it or not, he still helps me with bills, and I still feel like I need that job. Now that's the independence in me. He can't pay him off fully, but he does as much as he possibly can to try to help, which is appreciated. But in a lot of ways, I've taken my life, by the horns myself. Like, I'm the one that made the mistake. I do accept the help from him, but it's not quite enough.
Yeah,
So we
I get
just we just thug it out, together. But I work 3 days a week. It's like I'm not really working a job to survive. I'm trying to dig myself out of something. So I really only have to do it till like April.
that.
So it's like a set goal in mind, but it's just something that I need to do right now, with the help of him, with the help of this job. So it's a little bit different. Like most of the people that work there, the casino is their job. So it's different. Like that's their bread and
Oh
butter.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's a few people that work there that it's their part time, job too. But so it's just like a moment in time for me. But it's like I don't work 5 days a week or 6 days. I work 3 days a week at the casino, but it's still hard to juggle, that. Like now I have no weekends. I go in at 11 o'clock, so it's like it's just like my weekends are just all tied up in that. And working the weekend is good for me. It would kill me if I was working 3 days during the week
yeah,
and then I have my Monday through Friday job. So third, and then I like working Thursday, even though that's kind of hard going into Thursday and Friday. I get Sunday off, so I got all day Sunday, which you would think that would be a day I'm gonna do laundry, I'm gonna cook dinner, I'm gonna do, but I basically die on Sunday and just sleep, all day because I'm just tired from the rat race of the week. So it works for me. I'm very thankful. This is why I chose that because it's not a lot of like and I had got had an offer for another job for Roto Rooter. That would have been the perfect part-time job because it was just in the call center. All I would be doing is taking calls. Somebody saying I got a plumbing issue. Okay, we can send somebody out tomorrow, whatever time. I'm literally just sitting there scheduling plumbing calls, or maybe somebody might call back and say, "Oh, I had a coupon when I scheduled my plumbing service. Can I add that?" It's just a couple of basic calls, and I could have worked from 6 or 7 in the evening to midnight. That's what I wanted, but I would have had to do 2 weeks of training during the day.
yeah,
So I couldn't do that. It was so many jobs that like I was trying to get that the training was during the hours that I worked that I couldn't do. So thankfully, my director he let me flip flop my schedule for 3 weeks. I did 3 days of training for 3 weeks for the casino. He let me flip flop my schedule. So for those 3 weeks, I worked at the casino during the day to train, and then I worked at night doing my real job. Because I mean, what I do, I technically could do any time of the day. So
yeah,
thankfully, it was just all a blessing that he didn't have to let me do
yeah,
that, but he did.
yeah.
And so I'm just thugging it out. I'm so sick of talking to drunk people that's mad that they lost their money.
Oh, I
People
know.
that stink, them
But
people stink.
you got an end game. Everything's an end game, right? And so you got an end game, so you only got to live through there. But Hillbilly, you make a great point. We got to live below our means. Can you please yell that to me? Can you write me a letter that says, Robin, live below your damn means? because that's exactly what we must do, live below our means. Like, lately, I mean, I've even questioned the amount of rent I pay, right? And I said to myself, let me see if I could downsize. Okay, because I live in this apartment by myself. And I said, let me see if I could downsize, baby. I can't downsize because the one bedroom apartments are just as much as mine, right? And so I'm like, I've been in my apartment for 5, 6 years, and the new people moving into my building are paying way more than I'm paying. But because I've been here, so I feel like I better stay here. But I do have to look at my other financial decisions and try to start moving towards living below my means, because this is some bullshit. This economic condition is effed up. But Brandilla in Chicago, I appreciate y'all, because we talking about economic condition and jobs. I got one. I got to go to work right now, right here.
Mm.
Uh, I got to do my job too, because God dang it, if my boss is on social media and he see me up on here, he's gonna be like, "This is why her ass ain't working," you know.
Yeah.
But
Well, thank y'all for the input.
you're welcome, Brandilla. We're always here to listen. This is what we're here for. Help each other out to the best of our abilities. Thank you, Chicago, for jumping on and chiming in.
Yeah,
All right.
Chicago, what you said was very meaningful to my decision. I thank you for that.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. We brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? So I rocks with you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna move to closure. Thank you, Chicago, for coming on. Thank you, Brandilla, for
Thank y'all.
coming on. I have to move to closure because I gotta take my ass to work. But this is a very good decision, and this is what I'm talking about. Helping each other out, just giving each other some advice on some of the life-changing decisions that we need to make for our lives, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. We are all growing, all right, and learning each and every day. Continue to move with love and peace. All right. And remember that we need to get back to the village mentality, because it's ghetto out here in these streets. But I'm gonna send y'all out with some positive vibes. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. And I'm not saying that in celebration of the pilgrims or anybody the fuck else. I'm just saying have a great day off. Have a great day with your families and enjoy your time. And with that, I'm going to remind you that no matter how low, you can still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. And you can. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Yep. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. And I don't. This is Coffee with Friends, and I am Raw to the Bone. Come back Friday, y'all. I ain't gonna be here tomorrow, but I'll see y'all Friday, huh? Get this message. What? Hustle hard. Hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway, is a nice range. Cause I'm down through the climb, I ain't right. Hey! You never hear me, bitch, nah, I'm coming. What? Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. With the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no man, and I fucking don't. I'm hard-headed as fuck. Peace, y'all. I'm out. Hey.